Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are jumping right into something big, the emotional intelligence revolution. We're going to explore why this stuff is becoming just as critical as reading, writing, and arithmetic in our schools.
And wow, this quote really hits home, doesn't it? I mean, we all remember school being tough, but let's be real. For a lot of kids today, dealing with anxiety and stress is as much a part of their day as homework. It's a totally new ballgame, and that means we need a new playbook.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at what's really going on in today's classrooms emotionally. Then we'll talk about this thing called social emotional learning, or SEL. We'll break down the 5 core parts, see how it's actually put into practice, and definitely stick around for the end, because the payoff is, well, it's pretty surprising.
So let's talk about today's emotional classroom. You know, every teacher knows these kids. You've got the student who just shuts down the second a math problem gets tricky. Then there's the one who gets frustrated and lashes out. And don't forget the really quiet one, the one who seems totally disconnected. See, these aren't just bad behaviors. They're signals. They're symptoms of a deeper emotional challenge.
And that's exactly where social and emotional learning, you'll hear it called SEL, comes into the picture. Now, this isn't some fluffy, feel-good trend. Nope. It's a direct, powerful response to these challenges. It's about giving students the actual tools they need to navigate what's going on inside their own heads.
Okay, so what is SEL, really? Well, think of it this way. It's the process of teaching and learning skills to handle your emotions, build good relationships, make solid decisions, and, actually set and achieve goals. It's like teaching emotional intelligence as a core subject, right there next to history or biology. It's building a foundation for everything else in life.
I love this comparison because it makes it so clear. For the longest time, education was all about IQ, what you know, the facts you can memorize. But now we've got tons of research showing that EQ, your emotional quotient, is just as important. It's not just what you know, it's how you handle what you know. It's the difference between being book smart and being life smart.
And the results? They're huge. Kids with strong SEL skills, yeah, they do better academically, for sure. But it's so much more than that. They're better at teamwork, they show more empathy, they get into less trouble. And here's the big one. They just feel better. They're happier. It's simple, really. They learn better because they're living better.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do you actually teach it? Well, the most popular roadmap comes from an organization called CASEL, and they've broken SEL down into 5 key skills or competencies. Think of these as the fundamental building blocks of emotional intelligence.
And here's number 1. Self-awareness. This is the absolute foundation. It's all about being able to look inside yourself and just understand what's going on, right? Because you can't manage an emotion if you don't even know you're feeling it.
So in the classroom, this means helping kids connect the dots between their feelings and their actions. And what's so cool here is that this isn't some extra class you have to add. You weave it right into what you're already doing. In English, you might have them journal about how a character is feeling. In math, you could literally just ask, hey, how did it feel when you finally cracked that really hard problem? It's that simple.
Okay, so once you're aware of what you're feeling, that leads us right into number 2, self-management. The logical next step, right? You know what the feeling is. Now what are you going to do about it? This is where you learn to handle those emotions. We're talking about managing stress, controlling impulses, and building up that resilience muscle. In practice, this could be a calm corner in the classroom for when kids feel overwhelmed, or a PE teacher leading breathing exercises before a big game. The goal here is huge, teaching kids to respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting emotionally.
All right, we've covered the self part. Now we're shifting our focus outward to other people. This brings us to competency number 3, social awareness. And yeah, this is where empathy really takes center stage.
Social awareness is basically your ability to see things from someone else's point of view, to really feel what they might be feeling. So, in history class, instead of just learning dates, you explore an event from all the different perspectives. Or, in a group project, maybe you have students switch roles so they can understand each other's challenges. It's really about teaching the art of listening.
So you've learned to understand others. What's next? You got to put that understanding into action. And that's our 4th building block, relationship skills.
This is all the practical stuff. How to communicate without causing a fight, how to cooperate on a team, how to handle disagreements respectfully. I mean, these are the skills that make or break teamwork and leadership, right? You can teach this by modeling a healthy debate in class or even having students create their own team rules before a big project.
And that brings us to the fifth and final competency, where everything we've talked about, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, it all comes together. It's responsible decision-making. This is the big one. It's about teaching kids to make choices that are not just good for them, but good for others too. It's about thinking through the consequences of their actions, considering what's fair, and learning how to be a positive force in their community. And that includes their digital community, which is so important today.
Okay, so there you have it, the 5 core skills. But I know what you might be thinking. How on earth do teachers who are already swamped fit this in? And here's the secret. SEL isn't supposed to be another subject. It's not one more thing to cram into the day. It's a mindset, a way of being that gets woven into everything else.
And honestly, it can be really simple to get started. Things like a 2-minute morning check-in where kids share how they're feeling, or a quick question at the end of a lesson like, what was frustrating about that? And maybe the most powerful thing of all, teachers just modeling this stuff themselves. Seriously, even just 5 intentional minutes a day can be a total game changer.
All right, now we get to the part that usually wins over even the biggest skeptics. For anyone out there thinking, okay, this is all nice, fluffy, soft skill stuff, but what about the academics? Well, let's talk numbers. Because this isn't just about feelings. It delivers cold, hard, measurable results.
Check this out. This number is incredible. Major, large-scale studies have found that schools that do a good job with SEL see an average academic achievement boost of 11%. Just let that sink in for a second. An 11 percentile point gain. By focusing on emotional skills, you actually make students better at academics. It's a win-win.
And the impact goes way beyond test scores. Look at this. On top of that academic boost, you see better behavior and improved attendance. What this proves is a really simple but profound truth. Emotional safety is the bedrock of learning. When a kid feels safe, seen, and understood, their brain is literally freed up to focus on learning. So where does this leave us? As we race towards a future filled with AI and personalized learning, this whole emotional intelligence revolution is a powerful reminder of what can never be automated. Things like empathy and resilience and genuine human connection. The future of education isn't just about smarter tech, it has to be about more emotionally intelligent people. And that leaves us all with a pretty big question to think about. How can we bring more heart back into the way we learn?